Hi, and welcome back to our channel, Elevating Fatherhood. I'm Sean,
My name's Alex.
and tonight we're going to actually be talking about the differences that we've noticed as dads between raising girls and raising boys.
Yeah, man. So we have a dynamic of girls and boys in both of our homes. I have one boy and one girl, and they're both pretty young. My kids are 7 and 8. Sean,
I've got one boy and two girls, my oldest being 6 and 2 and 1.
and his son is the oldest.
Oh, sorry, yes, my son is the oldest, yep, and then my youngest are girls.
So we both have now. We don't have like teenagers yet that we're dealing with and whatnot, but we definitely see a dynamic between the girls and the boys in our homes.
Distinctly.
And now, we're going to share with you our experience with our kids. Every kid is different. So this isn't like across the board, but if you're having kids or you already have a boy and you're going to have a girl or vice versa, some of this information might be applicable and you might start to see some of these signs, so maybe you'll just have a little bit of a heads up. But like I said, this can vary greatly depending on the kid. It's not like a one-way, this is how all kids are.
No, not at all.
So,
yeah. No, I think that's absolutely important, because though my girls are the closest in age, as for right now, they are pretty opposites, especially from their brother Landon. Man, I love my girls. It's pretty incredible with girls, because their joy, their sadness, their just emotions in general are just full tilt, especially as young girls. I'm sure you can agree, because they're still figuring it out. I don't know what the teenage years are gonna be like, but I hope to be a good enough father to just like love my daughters and trust them and help build them into great young women. But right now, as little girls, I'm just trying my best to just love them through and help kind of guide them through the emotional turmoils of life. Like we said in our last video, man, you're teaching these kids just the difference between like hunger pains and getting hangry to they're getting tired, and then you throw the emotions on top of it to not getting their sucker at the right time. And you know, boys and girls can get really frustrated or agitated at that, just for who knows why. But I've just noticed with my girls, they're very just all the way when it comes to their emotions. And you know, that's not always a bad thing. I get the most joy from coming home. When I used to work, man, I'd open the door and it'd be like these two little puppies would just be running up. But these puppies can talk, and they're daddy, they're holding me. All they want to do is just get my loving and everything, and it's so great. And then my boy comes up, and I love him so much, but he goes, "Hey dad, hi, nice to see you." I'm like, "Oh hi, I love you, buddy." It's just not the same excitement. I know he loves me, but my girls are just so excited.
Exact same thing with me. Oliver, sometimes he will, but Lydia's always the one who wants to run up, give me a hug, and be like, "Daddy, oh, I missed you."
Yeah.
Oliver's always like, "Hey, what's up, Dad? I did a front flip on the trampoline today." I know.
Yeah, no big deal.
Anyways, hey, what's for dinner?
Sure. But I think that's how. I think that's how boys are kind of supposed to be. Not in a competition or whatever for the hierarchy, but children in general try and see where they stand, you know, in any situation, whether it's a new situation, new guests, new people, new place. They always try and see where they're at, right? And so for you and your son, you've kind of put, or I don't know about you, but for me and my son, we've established this relationship of like, hey, like, yes, I'm in charge, but man, he's beating me at games, and we've gone back and forth right now. So he's starting to learn right now as he's become more coordinated. He's like, hey, I can win. I don't always win,
but I can.
I know the potential is there, and I think that's really cool, because there is almost like this challenging aspect. I mean, I'm the first person.
That's a really interesting point you bring up, because nothing is a challenge between my daughter and I. It's just together.
Yeah.
Which honestly is really good. I mean, that's probably really the better way to do it.
Sure.
But when it comes to bringing my son into the picture, we do something together, it's instantly in competition.
Yeah.
Instantly a competition.
Yeah. But
That's true.
it's so cool because I think you brought up a really good point in our last discussion about this, about how you are, for all intents and purposes, you are protecting your daughters. Not saying you're not protecting your son, but he gets a lot more scrapes, bumps, bruises. You know, go explore, feel this danger, feel this adrenaline or whatever. You know, go get this rush. Whereas your daughter, for me anyways, I'm like, no, let me take care of you. Let me do this. Let me protect you or whatever. So when I do things with my daughter, it's a togetherness. Hey, you want to ride bikes? Let's ride bikes together. I'll walk with you the whole time. I will be there. Landon's like, I'm going to go ride my bike. I said, okay, like, got your helmet on, cool deal. Like, see you later.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different atmosphere between my boys and my boy and my girls, and I love each for their own individual things and their personalities. My youngest has not quite developed her own personality. I'm excited to see what that's looking like. She's a year, and she's kind of. She's hungry. She just eats. That's her personality right now. She just eats everything.
Just eat everything.
Everything you put in front of her, she'll eat. And then it's funny because she'll do that, but my other daughter, well, she eats like a bird. Takes 1 or 2 bites, and I'm full. She'll eat it. She'll eat just about everything. 1 or 2 bites and say I'm full. There's certain things where I can tell she's going through a growth spurt because out of nowhere, one meal she goes in. She's actually asking for more, and I'm like, oh dang, yeah, okay, feed her. And she takes on another plate and just crushes it like it was nothing. Whereas most of the time, no, she doesn't eat like that at all. My baby eats like more than she does.
That's crazy. I totally get it though, because my kids have done the same thing. Like one day they'll go and they won't eat hardly anything, and you're like, dude, like, what is wrong? Why
What
are
are
you
you
eating?
running off of right now?
I know, like, what's your energy source? What do you? I want to know, you know. And then the next day, like, I bought a Domino's pizza, a large pizza one time, and I had like 2 to 3 pieces, and I went out in my garage to work, and when I came back, literally like 10, 15 minutes later, they were just sitting there eating pizza, watching TV. The pizza was gone. And they're both like, hey dad, what's for dessert? And I'm going, what happened to the pizza?
They got hollow legs.
Dude.
Just stuff it in them.
But yeah, for me, like, I've definitely noticed there's some major differences, especially between my boy and my girl. Kind of touched on what Sean touched on was my daughter's she has very strong emotions, and it's hard for her sometimes to manage herself through her emotions. And honestly, I think in a lot of ways it's a strength though for her to have such strong emotions. If there's a certain song that I'll play on the piano sometimes, and it sounds kind of sad, and whenever I play the song, Lydia's like bawling. She's like, you can't play that song, Dad. I can't hear that music, because it literally just makes her bawl. When we watched the movie The Spirit, the horse Spirit, yeah. It's such a dramatic movie. She cried the whole movie. Like, literally, she's just bawling. She's crying. Oliver's like, is there going to be any action? Yeah. Like, where's the fighting? You know?
That's awesome, man. I think that's so funny because Landon's numb to just about anything. It could be obviously we don't watch anything like too terrible with our kids, but I mean, even in like Avengers, he really likes the Marvel series, but like even in Avengers, I mean, Tony Stark dies and Landon's sitting there stone cold killer, just not even fazed by it. And then we watch something else like the Avatar and somebody gets sick and Nora's over here like, they're gonna die, no, they're gonna die, oh, somebody help them. We're like, no baby, like you can't do anything, this is a movie, like if they're gonna die, it's gonna happen. No, we have to do something. Very just connected to those. But I agree, it's not a bad thing at all. No, I mean it's just who they are. It's just helping them out, figure all that out.
Yeah.
Which I'm not an expert at all.
No, me either. And it's interesting because since I'm a single dad, like when they're with me, it's all me. And like the other day, Lydia was having a hard time. Actually, we didn't have a hard time. It was a weird situation. We went to a water park. Oliver decided he wanted to buy these little stuffed animal stingray things, and they're real cute looking. Well, he bought Lydia a pink one, and he got himself the green one. Well, I bought him, you know what I'm saying? He picked it out. Anyways, we brought it home, and we gave it to Lydia, and she was just so happy. She was just ecstatic. She got this little stuffed animal stingray. Well, that night when we went to bed, she just starts bawling, like hysterically. And I go to her, like, what's going on? What's wrong? She's like, I just love my stingray so much. It's so cute. She'd look at it, and just start bawling her eyes out, dude. 45 minutes of this went on. She couldn't stop crying. And I was like, well, should I stop her? I mean, she said she's happy. She's like crying. I'm like, is this a sad cry? Are you happy? She's like, I'm so happy. I love it so much. You know, Oliver doesn't do stuff like that. You know? And we totally, like we were saying, we totally get it. It's different in every scenario, but I definitely have seen the difference in, it's not like they just feel it more. I can't think of the words for it. It's like they just have more passion almost.
Sure, I mean, I feel like that's, again, I'm no like psychologist or anything like that, but I definitely feel like that's the feminine aspect of being more in tune with those emotions and just figuring it out. But that, what I think it's a really amazing strength is because, so my wife is super connected to my kids' emotions, and that she can tell the difference in the sense of like, oh, this is the difference between a hungry cry, a sad cry,
oh dang,
and a tired cry. And she's been able to do that since they were babies.
Wow.
And even to my son right now, if he starts acting off or maybe a little frustrated or maybe he's just a little bit more emotional, like he can cry easy or something, she's like, oh, he's had too much screens, or oh, he hasn't eaten enough, or maybe his blood sugar's feeling a little low. She's just really connected with that. Whereas for me, for my girls and boys, I go through the same list I went through with when they were a baby. Do you gotta eat? No. Do you have to poop or burp something? You got some gas on your tummy? No. Like what's going on? Huh? You need some personal attention? Let me hold you. No, that's not working. So it's just funny. Women are very connected with their emotions right there.
That's cool. No, I appreciate Sean's awesome intelligence and wisdom.
Wisdom. I'm not wise. I just fail a lot.
But no, we definitely, I noticed a difference between my daughter and my son, and each of them play, I think, super important roles in just our family, my family dynamic, and I appreciate both of them. Oliver is, he's a go-getter, and like I say, he's up for a challenge, and he just wants to go get it. And Lydia is more very soft and very fluid in her actions and movement, and meticulous. She likes to organize things, put things together. And it's interesting though, because my brother, he has 2 daughters that are the same ages as my kids. And his oldest daughter is very tomboy. She's very much like Oliver. And then his other daughter, the younger one, is very much like Lydia, my daughter. And so, I mean, it's not like this is how it's going to be, you know, across the board for families. There's like we're saying, every kid's different. But, and like with my brother's daughter, when we get together, the one that's a tomboy will play with Oliver more. And the one that's more feminine and girly and stuff will play with my daughter more. And they've always kind of break off into those pairs. So it is interesting. It totally just depends on the kids, man.
So that's interesting. Let me hit you with a question here, okay? Landon is a lot more comfortable playing with girls. Man, anywhere we go, if they got daughters there or anything, he's much more apt to go and play with them. I'm still taxed, so other things like that. I mean, unless they have a son who, again, pulls it out. But if they have daughters, he's so comfortable with just jumping in. Whereas if they have older sons or younger sons, he's a bit more reserved. Like, I don't know how to play with you, man. He's getting more to the point now, especially since going to school. And, I mean, COVID's kind of just jacked everything up with just getting out. But since school opened, he was able to interact with boys and, like, kind of roughhouse and get that around more. He's been so much more mellow and relaxed, and so I try my best to get him out and still get that energy going, because as guys, I've noticed Landon needs to burn something off constantly. Nora and Alia, yeah, yes and no, they're kind of okay to chill. Yeah, I just wanted to know your opinion, like if you go out to a park or something, because Oliver is so used to and comfortable playing with Lydia. Do you notice that he kind of feels more comfortable with other girls at the playground, or did you notice that he like strictly goes to hang out with the guys?
Oliver's really just shy in general.
Oh, okay.
So he hangs around mostly girls because we have my brother, him and I hang out, and he has his 2 girls and his sister. And so he's super comfortable there. But when we go out to public, it doesn't really seem like it matters who it is. He's just shy.
Oh, okay.
And if it's adults, if it's kids, he's just super shy. But it makes sense, actually, I think, with your kids or with Landon, because he has his 2 younger sisters. So that's probably just what he's used to.
Right.
And so when he knows how to interact with that situation, so when he goes out into a situation with another boy, and like, especially with you where it's like always a challenge, or maybe he's like, how do I approach this?
Right? Are we getting at it right now? Are we racing? Say go, dude.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing. If you see boys, like if they do hit it off, like it'll be like, you're it, and they like take off, and it's instantly like going. I laughed. Landon fell and ate it pretty hard the other day at the park. He just popped up and kept going. I was like, oh, you're good. What he did as soon as the kids like want to play tag and tagged him and take off, Landon didn't even like, well, what's your name or not? He didn't even care. Game on. Like, let's go.
That's funny. You talk about Landon falling down and getting hit or getting hurt and just getting up. Oliver is the very same way. A lot of times he'll fall down, and get hurt. Kind of look at me, look around, and go, shake it off, and get up and just keep going. Lydia gets hurt. She's like, ow, Daddy, come love me.
Come love me.
I need you, Daddy. Come love me. And she's not even really hurt very bad, but she has to. Today we were at gymnastics class, and she hurt her foot a little bit, and she had to come hang out with me for a few minutes and have me just like, hey, how you doing? And can you lift your foot? She just wanted my attention for a little bit, and then she was fine and went back.
Right.
It's just funny.
On pain, there you go. That's a huge difference I've noticed from boys and girls. Landon, he's gotten to the point now where he almost gets embarrassed if he falls and hurts himself.
Oh.
And you have to be like, oh, dude, you're okay. Like, don't even worry about it. Especially if there's, like, his friends. Like, I don't know if it's like, I don't want to look like a goofball or something like that. It's not a big deal, but I've noticed that when he falls, he, like, gets up super quick. Like, oh, no one saw that, right? Like, almost afraid of the embarrassment. Whereas Alia, she falls, and she's walking now. Kind of walking. She's moving around on her feet, not crawling anymore. But she falls, and she gets right back up since she doesn't think about it, because that's where the baby stage is. They just want to move. And then Nora, she falls, and just like that, comes up to me. Nothing's wrong with her. Oh, Daddy. Oh. And of course, I melt.
I know. It's especially
like
for a
butter
dad.
in
He's
the
like,
microwave.
oh, what's the matter? Come
Are
here.
you okay? She holds me. I love you, Daddy.
Oh my goodness, I love you too.
I know there's nothing wrong, but do you need a lollipop? Do you need something to calm down? And then, of course, it's always like, no, but I'll have a popsicle. Dang it.
I know.
There goes
No, but how
another
about
popsicle.
a bowl of ice cream?
Yeah. She always goes for the hand and then just kind of consumes my whole arm every time. And I let it happen every time. It's awful.
That's funny, dude. So yeah, we definitely have our experiences with our sons and daughters, and like I said, this isn't like a one size fits all. This is just what we've noticed in our family dynamics between our me and my son and my daughter, and Sean and his kids, and what I see also with my brother and his kids, and a few other friends that are families and stuff. But everyone's different, and I think the most important thing is, between our sons and his daughters, what they all need is just to be loved.
Yeah.
They just need to be loved. They need to be shown that we love them and that we genuinely care and that we serve them, so that they can just have that fortification to be the best they can be as an individual. I think that's the most important thing. But we do appreciate you guys watching our video, and we hope that you've gotten some good insight or any entertainment value or whatever out of it.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for just hanging out with us tonight. I know tonight was a little bit different in our filming. We just really liked the just different views we had about both of our kids. Some similar, some different.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, kids are just fun, and it's just really important to be there, whether it is a new addition to your already family, your kids or whatnot, or just new baby in general, boy or girl. I mean, just being present and figuring out what works not only for them and teaching them how to grow, but for you and being the best leader, dad, parent, mom, whoever you can be to help them out to achieve that full potential. So we just thank you so much for watching our videos and, you know, taking this step forward with us to just know a little bit more to love our kids. It's really important. So thank you very much.
Yeah, man. If you guys have any questions, please shoot us a comment down below. We're trying to kind of create a community of dads where we can all just talk to each other, share questions with each other, and there could be a lot of stuff that we could learn from you guys. So also, if you have insights, please shoot some comments down below. Any thoughts, advice, tips for those of you who are parents who have teens, maybe differences that you see with your teen kids. We'd love to hear all about it. So be sure to comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future content, and I think we'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Peace out.